You know when you get a check, maybe for your birthday or for some work you did, you probably just see it as a piece of paper you can swap for cash. But in the eyes of the law, that simple act makes you something way more specific and honestly a lot more powerful. It makes you a holder. Today, we're going to unpack exactly what that legal title means and, more importantly, why it even matters. So here's the game plan. We're going to break this whole holder thing down. We'll start with the official, straight up definition. Then we'll get into the really crucial difference between just having something and being legally entitled to it. And after that, we get to the fun part, the legal rights, the superpowers, really, that come with being a holder. All right, first things first. Before we can talk about rights, we have to know what we're talking about. We need to nail down what the law actually says a holder is. And this isn't just some theory I'm pulling out of a textbook. As you can see right here, the definition we're about to dig into comes directly from these handwritten legal notes. This is the bedrock for everything else we're going to cover. So here we go. A holder is, and I'm quoting, any person entitled in his own name to possession thereof and to receive or recover the amount due thereon. Whoa, okay, let's break that down. It basically means two things. One, you have to be legally allowed to have the thing, like a check. And two, you have to be the person who's legally allowed to get the money from it. It's a two-part test, and you've got to pass both. Okay, this next point is absolutely crucial. This is where the everyday idea of holding something totally diverges from the legal definition. It is not just about physically having a check in your hand. The law draws this massive, bright line between simple possession and true legal entitlement. And this really simplifies the whole concept. Think of it like a legal equation. You need possession, you have to physically have the instrument, plus you need the legal right to that possession. Only when you have both of those things together do you officially become a holder. And this just spells it out perfectly. A thief who steals a check, do they have possession? Yep, they're physically holding it. But do they have any legal right to it? Absolutely not. So they are not a holder. The same goes for, say, a messenger or an employee who's just holding a check for their boss. They have possession? Sure, but they have zero entitlement to it in their own name. And this isn't just a hypothetical, you know? Check out this real court case from 1950. The actual holder of an instrument had disappeared, so his son tried to sue to get the money. But the court's ruling? It was brutal. It said that legally speaking, the son was a stranger, no different than a thief or someone who just found the note on the street. Why? Because the entitlement wasn't in his name. That's how seriously the law takes this distinction. Okay, so now that we're crystal clear on what a holder is and what they're not, let's get to the good stuff. What can you actually do? What are these legal superpowers that come with the title? It really boils down to three huge rights that give the holder all their muscle. First, and this is the big one, they can sue in their own name to get paid. They don't need anyone else's permission. Second, they have the right to actually go and present the instrument for payment. And third, they can negotiate it, which is just a fancy way of saying they can sign it over and transfer its value to somebody else. These three things are what turn a piece of paper into a real financial weapon. And as you can see, these aren't just abstract concepts. They are laid out, clear as day, right here in these legal notes. Having these rates written down is what gives a holder the confidence and, more importantly, the legal standing to actually use them. But believe it or not, the powers don't stop with those big three. The law also gives a holder some really specific abilities, almost like special moves, to protect their money and make the instrument even more useful. For example, let's say someone just signs the back of a check to pay you. That's called a blank endorsement, and it's kind of risky. Technically, anyone who finds it could cash it. Well, as the new holder, you actually have the power to write pay to the order of with your name right above their signature. Boom, you've just turned it into a full endorsement that only you can cash. You can also cross a check by drawing two parallel lines on it. That's a legal instruction to the bank that the money has to go into an account. It can't just be handed over as cash. It's a great safety feature. And finally, get this. If the original instrument is lost, you're not just out of luck. The holder has the legal right to force the person who wrote it to issue a duplicate. And again, you can see these very specific powers detailed right in the source notes. These aren't just little tricks or loopholes. They're carefully designed legal tools meant to empower and protect the rightful owner of the money in the real world. So look, if you take one thing away from this, it's this. Being a holder is so much more than just having a check in your pocket. It is a specific legal status. It's a status that turns that piece of paper into an instrument of power, giving you the right to demand payment, to take people to court, and to transfer that value, all with the full backing of the law.
It really makes you wonder, though, doesn't it? In our world of Venmo, Zelle, and instant digital payments, does this old school idea of a physical holder still carry the same kind of weight? Or are we watching the whole concept of what it means to be legally entitled to our money evolve right before our eyes? It's a pretty fascinating question for our times.